In this lesson, we're going to be graphing using slope-intercept form. All right, so how do I graph using the slope-intercept form? First of all, remember the slope-intercept form is the y is equal to mx plus b. So we need to make sure that step one, that the equation is in that y is equal to mx plus b form. The second, we need to identify the slope and the y-intercept. We need to plot the y-intercept. We're going to use the slope to create more points, and then we're going to connect the points to create the line. So let's see what that looks like. So first of all, we have this equation, y is equal to 3/4 x minus 1. So this one is already in the slope-intercept form. So now let's go ahead and we're going to identify the slope and the y-intercept. Remember that our slope is the number that is with the variable. So we have 3/4 for our slope. The number without the variable, the b, is our y-intercept. And remember, you need to have that minus right there. It's minus 1, so you need a -1 here. All right, so now we're going to plot, because that's where it starts. These things start at the y-intercept. So remember, the y-intercept is the line that is running up and down. This right here is our y-intercept. It's the vertical line. So we're going to start by plotting the y-intercept. The y-intercept is at a -1. We're just going to put one dot right there. And then from that, so our starting point is at the -1. We're going to have a 3/4 slope. So that means that I'm going to be going up 3 and then over 4. And I'm going to put my dot there. Now, once you have your slope, now we just need to connect these dots. So let's get rid of that. I'm going to now connect these, and I have a line that represents y is equal to 3/4 x minus 1. And any point that goes through that line is a solution to this relationship. Let's take a look at the next one. So I have y is equal to -x plus 5. So again, we identify the slope, and we identify the y-intercept. This one is in slope-intercept form. The y is all by itself. My slope, because I don't have a number in front of the variable, my slope is a -1. And our y-intercept is the 5. So again, we're going to start at the 5. So that y-intercept, again, is the line that runs straight up and down here. And it's starting at the +5. So I'm going up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that's my y-intercept. Now for our slope, remember slope is the ratio of the rise all over the run. And in the first one, I had a fraction. I had the 3 up 3 over 4. Here I don't have a bottom number, but you can give it a bottom number. And I'm just going to put it all over 1. Anytime you put something over 1, it's still a -1. But now I know and I can see that I have a ratio of rise all over run. So I'm going to go the -1, down 1, and then +1. I'm just going to do it a couple times, but all you really need is 2 points to graph that line. And now I'm going to connect the dots, and I have this line graphed, and any point that you see on this graph is a solution to this equation. All right, so let's take a look at 4x plus y is equal to 3. Now notice, our first step is put the equation in slope-intercept form. Well, this one, y is not all by itself, but we can get it all by itself. I'm going to subtract the 4x from both sides, leaving that y all by itself. I have y is equal to 3 minus 4x. All right, we need to identify the slope. We need to identify the y-intercept. So my slope, remember your slope is the number with the variable, and I have to have that minus there, so I have a -4. And my y-intercept is the number by itself, and that is the 3. So this one is going to start at the +3. Our y-intercept, the b, is 3. So I'm going 1, 2, 3. And remember, it's the y-intercept. It's the vertical line. And then I have a slope of -4. -4 all over 1 gives me the ratio of the rise all of the run. So I'm going to go down 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and over 1. We're always starting at that y-intercept. That's where we're starting to count. And I could go again, 1, 2, 3, 4, over 1. I could also go up 4 and -1. But again, all you need are 2 points. Oops, here we go. to graph this line. All right, and our last one in this example. So again, the first step, we need to put the equation in the slope-intercept form. So this is not in slope-intercept form. We need to get that y all by itself. So I'm going to subtract the 3x. Negative 3y is equal to 12 minus 3x. I have to divide by a negative 3. And y is equal to, be careful here, you've got all these, oops, that was a negative 3. All these negatives, you're going to have negative 4, and then negative divided by a negative is a positive, plus x. All right, so we have y is equal to negative 4 plus x. So slope is a number with the variable, and I have a 1 with that variable since I don't have 1. And our y-intercept is at a negative 4. All right, so we're going to start at the negative 4. Again, that vertical line up and down. So I'm going down 1, 2, 3, 4. So this one's starting at a negative 4, and I'm going up 1 over 1, up 1 over 1. And so I have this line that looks like this. All right, example 2, solving real-world problems. All right, a recording studio charges the musicians an initial fee of $50 to record an album. Studio time costs an additional $30 per hour. So let's start with our equation. All right, we have y is equal to, so an initial fee, $50. It's starting at the $50. So even when you haven't paid for any lessons, you have already paid that initial fee. And then you have to pay $30 per hour. So you're starting at the 50, you're going up 30 for every hour that you have. So up 30 over 1, up 30 over 1. All right, so what is our slope? Well, remember the slope is the per hour. Our slope is the number with the variable, that's 30. Our y-intercept is at the 50. All right, so let's go ahead and graph this relationship. We're going to start at the 50, because even when you had 0 hours, you still have to pay that $50. And now we're going up, for every hour, we're going to go up 1 or 10, 20, 30 over 1. So 1 hour, and now 2 hours, let's go 10, 20, 30 over 10, 20, 30 over 1. Okay, so for every 1 hour, we went up the $30. So let's take a look here. It says, how much would it cost after recording 2 hours? So let's go ahead and we're going to come over to the 2 and we're going to go all the way up and see where it's meeting. Well, it's meeting at the 110. So we would know that it costs, that is 110. All right, so another way of looking at that is we could also plug in that 2 for the x. So y is equal to 50 plus 30 times 2. And we'd have 50 plus 60, which y is equal to 110. So when x is equal to 2, y is equal to 110. And notice we got that same answer when we drew the line going up. All right, a college freshman goes to college with $700 in her savings account. She plans to spend an average of $50 per day. So let's write an equation, and we're starting at the 700. So she has $700 in her savings account, and now she's spending $50 every day. And remember, spending, you'd be minusing that. So what is our slope? Our slope is equal to the negative 50, because that's the number with the variable. That's the rate of change per day. The y-intercept, well, we're starting at the 700. So let's go ahead and let's graph this. Again, where are we starting? We're starting at, and then we're going to go down $50 every day. So we're going to go down 50 over 1, down 50 over 1, and so forth. And so then you're going to have this line that comes like this. And so how much money will be left after 10 days? So let's go ahead and draw a line going up after 10 days. See how much money we have left. Looks like we have $200 left. So let's try this. Y is equal to 700 minus 50 times. Now remember, we're going 10 days. We're plugging that in for our x. And y is equal to 700 minus 500. And y is equal to 200. So notice how we have, when x is 10, our y is 200, and we can see that on the graph there as well. In this lesson, we took a look at how to graph equations from the slope-intercept form.